You mentioned Ringrose earlier on, though. This was a proper leader's performance, it felt like. And even the way he got in Ridley's ear a few times was incredibly impressive. What about his performance stood out to you most?
Well, just when they needed him. I actually really thought they needed him. He obviously came up with 2 tries. But yeah, I thought he handled the referee incredibly well. So like when he scores the try that he has the head contact with Hume, you know, you just ask him politely to have a look at it. You know what I mean? Because we'd missed it. Because normally, you know, he scores a try. Hume isn't injured, I don't think. And he just asked him in a non-aggressive way, and they look at it, and obviously to get the right decision. I thought Ross Byrne was key as well, because you know, as soon as they got a penalty advantage, like their pack 2 or 3 yards out, they'll probably will score through a series of pick and goals. But as soon as he felt, not even penalty advantage, as soon as he felt that they had an opportunity to go wide, he just pulled the trigger. You know what I mean? And if you don't score there, the spotlight's back on the 10, and obviously Garry got 2 of them, and then was it Lowe got the other one where he went over the top with a good pass. I think Ringrose, you know, he'd probably end up being Johnny's replacement as captain for Leinster and maybe Ireland. You know what I mean? And I think his unique selling point, he may be not as loud, he's certainly not as loud as Johnny or Peter O'Mahony, or as probably, you know, as obvious a charismatic leader, but certainly what he has is the ultimate respect of all his teammates, and the ability, I suppose, to come up with big plays under pressure. And I thought it was another. He's been brilliant this season anyway, but when they needed him, he was outstanding. And he has this ability to, like, it's a weird, it's unusual. Like we think of Cheslin Colby as a stepper, Jordan Larmour as a stepper, but Gary's ability to change direction, it's very subtle, you know what I mean? But it only, like, to work out whether it's good or not, look at how many line breaks he makes, and look at how, you know, those 2 tries. He can go sideways very quickly, you know, and that's a very stupid way of saying it, but he has this very unique way of beating people. That's not coincidence. It's happened his whole career. We've seen him on his lateral runs a lot. But he's tough. He's tough. Like, for a guy with such style, he's tough mentally, he's tough physically. You know, he like, look at again, he's used to challenges, but that Hume-McCluskey partnership is a tried and tested partnership for Ulster. Quality players, both of them. He's in there with Jamie Osborne, who's a youngster, and you know, Leinster dominated that area. And Jamie was very good, but you know, Garry would have had a mentoring role there in the course of that game as well.
Yeah.
And it's impressive.
The toughness point is really pertinent, because he's so much more assertive now, obviously naturally through being an older person and experience, etc. But obviously Lancaster has pushed him with that a lot as well, and he deserves the credit for pushing himself. Even he's unfailingly polite, but there's an assertive edge to it. He's like, you will have a look at that.
Yeah. And
there's no doubt in his mind that it's going to happen. Even the way he plays, like you mentioned the toughness in that, like he's really hurting people a lot. He still has high missed tackle stats, and people kind of focus on that, but often it's because he's put such a hard shot on someone, he's almost bouncing away himself. And then you tally that with the intelligence, the step for the first try in particular, like Moore and Hume with that double right step, he rinses them. Even for the second, it's a lovely dummy, because Moore is man on there. They've actually numbered up fine, Ulster. He just completely sells them. Slaloms back outside, I think it's Warwick, finishes through Doak. Brilliant bits of play. And he's still surprising defenders. That's the thing. Like, they've so much footage on him, but his footwork still catches people out. I thought it was just phenomenal from him, and that's really interesting. I think you say about him being the successor to Johnny, because James Ryan was probably in that bracket for a long time.
Well, maybe he will be, but he's definitely speaking to people in Leinster, because I interviewed him last week or 2 weeks ago on stage for something. So I did a bit of digging, trying to get some scandal on him to a certain extent, but he's absolutely he's cleaner than clean. But they all said, you know, leadership. You know, he's putting himself forward. He's an obvious candidate to replace Sexton.